Well, it's Women's History Month, and sometimes the most powerful tool a woman has is her voice. Whether you're trying to make yourself heard at work or in your personal life, speaking up for yourself can lead to positive change. Thanks so much for staying with us. I'm Tamsen Fidel.
And I'm Erin LeBeau. So some women find it difficult to stand up for themselves. It could be lack of self-esteem, fear of rejection, or the gender bias that has shaped the rules of social behavior.
Our next guest is a top female surgeon in a field of men, and she says she had to learn to, quote, take up space in order to make it. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Erin Nance. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me, ladies.
Well, you say, as a woman, taking up space is probably one of the most powerful tools that you have given yourself over the years. So define what you mean by taking up space.
Taking up space means being visible, being heard, having the courage to share your point of view. You know, when I go to an orthopedic surgery conference, I'm not just sitting in the audience, I'm up on stage giving the presentation.
Okay, so how were you able to really learn this and be successful in your field?
When I was little, my parents put no boundaries on what I wanted to pursue. I was the only girl on the boys' soccer team. When I was in 8th grade, I went to high school. I was in Long Island, and I wanted to know, where would you go to high school if you go to Manhattan, have a scholarship? And they said, well, you know, the boys, they're schools for boys. And that just didn't sit right with me. So I did my own research, and I found out that there were schools for girls in Manhattan that offered scholarships. And it was just assumed that the girls didn't want to or weren't capable of traveling the 3 hours to go to school. So I'm very proud to say that I graduated from Marymount, and a girl every year since then has gone to school in Manhattan.
Oh, wow, that's great to hear. So why is it so important for women to do this? Because, you know, maybe a lot of them don't have the parents that you had that said anything is possible.
So if you want people to respect you, you have to respect yourself first. And that means believing that your opinion is valuable and that it is worth listening to.
Okay, so how do you suggest or some ways that women can confidently speak up for themselves?
The first thing is to show up as your authentic self. I'm in a field with 94% male, and I didn't want to be a female impression of what a male professional looked like. So I went to all of my grand rounds wearing dresses, wearing heels, because that's what I was most comfortable in. The second is to speak intentionally, have a point and get to it. The third is to stop saying you're sorry. Have you ever been on the street and someone else bumps into you and you say, I'm sorry? It's just a reflex for people pleasing that women don't have to do. And then the fourth thing is to surround yourself with people who will amplify your voice. I've been so fortunate to be surrounded by both female and male mentors who have given me the space to grow and really been champions of me.
That's great. Well, sometimes women who advocate for themselves may be labeled as difficult women. Is there a way to get around that? Because that is certainly a misogynist way of thinking.
This is where the courage really comes in. And trust me, I understand that sometimes it's easier to advocate for others than to advocate for yourself.
Sure.
But sometimes this looks like saying no. Sometimes this means that you will have to miss out on opportunities. But you have to understand what are your core values and then stand by those.
So true.
I actually saw something that we were rolling that picture before I asked you this question. Can you explain that Bart Simpson pillow and the brace on your arm?
That is a classic 1992. That was my first broken arm. I had broken my arm twice, and that's what started my love of orthopedics. I actually had an orthopedic surgeon come straight from the opera in a tuxedo to put that cast on.
What a story. Wow.
Well, we see you as a young girl there. So what would you say to girls or want them to know about pursuing a career in a male-dominated field like you did?
I want them to know that you are not alone. And even though you may be the only female in the room or in the Zoom room, there are so many strong women who have come before you, and we are supporting you, and you got this.
I love it. Dr. Nance, we feel empowered by just your voice. Thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story for Women's History Month.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice to see you again.